And now for the shoot tip processing for cryopreservation. Going to pour some of the loading solution into a sterile petri dish and transfer the shoot tips from the solidified medium that they've been incubating on for 3 days. Transfer them to the loading solution with a pair of stericeps. And once they are in the loading solution, you can stir them around occasionally. After the 20 minutes at room temperature in the loading solution, you can remove the solution with a sterile Pasteur pipette and add ice cold PVS2 to the shoot tips. And stir the shoot tips around, and then embed the petri dish into the ice and stir occasionally. The shoot tips will sit in the PVS2 for 75 minutes. And while the shoot tips are waiting PVS2, you can start to prepare your foil strips by adding them to a sterile petri dish and place the petri dish into the ice. Be careful not to get any ice into either petri dish. It is not sterile. So about 5 or 10 minutes before the time is up, you can start to prepare your foil strips by adding PVS2 to the foil strips. You can either form drops, or we have found that it's a little bit easier just to make one long pool along the foil strip, and then you can transfer the shoot tips to the foil strip. In this case, for demonstration, we're just putting 5 shoot tips on each foil, but for storage, we generally put 10 per shoot tip, and we generally do about 17 foil strips, 17 vials that will then go into the tank. 15 of those vials will be for long-term storage, and 2 of them will be for viability testing. After you've put the shoot tips onto the foil strips, you can spread the shoot tips out so that they are evenly distributed on the foil strip. Once they are evenly distributed, we're going to remove any excess PVS2, leaving just a very thin film of PVS2, just enough to adhere the shoot tips to the foil strips. Now we're going to pour liquid nitrogen into the small Dewar flask and let the flask cool. The liquid nitrogen will boil for maybe 20 or 30 seconds and then come to equilibrium. Wait until it is completely finished boiling. And once it is calmed down, the shoe tips will be ready to be placed into the liquid nitrogen. So take each foil strip one by one and quickly transfer them to the liquid nitrogen, moving them around briefly to cool them as quickly as possible, and then release them and they will sink to the bottom of the liquid nitrogen. And now we are going to transfer the foil strips to some cryo vials for storage. So the vials are placed into liquid nitrogen to cool them down. Again, wait until the liquid nitrogen has stopped boiling around the vials, that they are fully cooled. And then cool a pair of forceps or hemostats or pliers, any kind of metal tool that you can hold the vial with. Usually takes maybe 30 seconds to fully cool them down. Again, wait until the liquid has stopped boiling around the tool. Now we're going to hold the vial while we're moving the lid. While holding the vial just above the level of liquid nitrogen, we're going to transfer one of the foil strips into the vial. Pour out any excess liquid nitrogen, and then quickly transfer the foil strip into the vial. And then replace the lid, screwing it on tightly. And again, for the next one, remove the lid, pour out any liquid nitrogen that may be in there. And then quickly transfer another foil strip into the next vial. And continue doing that for however many vials that you have. Generally, we have about 17 vials for each accession. 15 of those will be going into storage. 2 of them will be for viability testing. In this case, we'll just have a couple vials for demonstration. You can see the foil strip inside of the vial there.